This is Goku's son DBZ and welcome back for a new sales list. This time we're talking about the Souls series. As I showed before, a recent shirt picked up with, of course, the picture of my YouTube channel on it. So with that said, I chose music in the background from Dark Souls 3 because this is a look back at the sales history of the Souls series. Now, I am going to include Bloodborne, however, I am excluding Sekiro, since that takes place in Japan, where Bloodborne takes place more in Europe, very much so like the Dark Souls games. So with that said, and yes, I will be looking at remastered versions as well in sales. So first we start off, released on the PlayStation 3 in 2009, The Birth of the Souls series. And that being, of course, started off with Demon Souls. When it was released, it got a overall out from a score of 1 to 10 among critics. It got a 9.1 out of 10, which is a pretty good score for the first game. It would end up selling around an even million copies. So not too bad, not super big. It's still a million copies, not bad for a debut game. And of course it would gain definitely a cult following throughout the years. Now keep in mind that million copies is strictly physical sales numbers. That is excluding digital sale numbers. So keep that in mind. Next installment released in 2011 on the PlayStation 3, the 360, and the PC would be, of course, Dark Souls, the original, which would be released on 3 platforms, so obviously it did way better. Overall scores, the PS3 version got a 9 out of 10, and the 360 version got a 9.1 out of 10. However, PC, I could not find a critic score. So, with that said, overall sales numbers of the original Dark Souls did around an estimated 6.3 million copies. 6,300,000. That's quite an impressive debut of the actual Dark Souls games. I mean, Demon Souls, a million was a good debut, but then the first Dark Souls game, 6.3 million. That's quite a jump up in sales, but keep in mind, Demon Souls was PS3 exclusive, while Dark Souls was also on the 360 and the PC. So you have to keep also those things into consideration when looking at sales numbers. With that said, next we go on to the third game in this series, and that was released in 2014 on the PlayStation 3, the 360, and the PC again. Now, this game, of course, is my personal favorite of the Souls series, but it didn't do nearly as good overall among overall people and critics. On the PS3, it would score an 8.5 out of 10. On the 360, it would score a 9.3 out of 10, and the PC would score a 7.2 out of 10. So bar none, the 360 is considered by far the best version, best port of the game. Now to be fair, that was the platform I originally played Dark Souls 2 on, was on the 360. So maybe that's another reason I like the game more, because I played it on, I guess, the best platform. And you may not see in the background, but pointing right there is my copy of Dark Souls 2. But with that said, Dark Souls 2 sold around an estimated 3,310,000 copies, so a little over 3.3 million. Still a way better number than Demon Souls, however, versus Dark Souls 1. That was a 3 million drop in sales numbers. But keep in mind also, there was probably also a higher amount of digital sales as well to keep in mind with Dark Souls 2, because we're talking 2014. By that time, more people in the West were starting to buy digital games and stuff. Given we're talking at the end of that console generation, basically the beginning of the next console generation, which now we're getting ready to end. Hard to believe the 8th console generation's about over. But with that said, next we would see release in 2016, and that would be Dark Souls 3, released on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC, of course. Now, this game, actually, physical sales were quite a bit higher than Dark Souls 2, but I'm not sure what the digital sale numbers were on Dark Souls 3, though I'm sure it was pretty good overall. But overall, critic scores across the board, the PS4 version got a 9 out of 10, really good. The Xbox One version got a 9.8 out of 10, almost a perfect score. That's pretty impressive. And the PC release got a 9.3 out of 10, so the lowest score overall across all platforms was a 9 out of 10, which is quite impressive. But given Xbox One got a 9.8, that's definitely impressive. Dark Souls 3 in total in physical sales sold around 5,984,000. So let's just, for easy sake, let's just say it sold about 6 million even physical, which is quite a jump back up. So basically it did almost the same numbers of Dark Souls 1 in sales, though if you add digital sales in, I'm sure Dark Souls 3 overall sold the best of all platforms. Now keep in mind, this isn't even including the improved version with all the DLC and stuff included. So keep that in mind. So that's really impressive. Then we go to 2000. Well, technically we go backwards 1 year, but I decided to do it this way. 2015, and that's exclusively to the PlayStation 4. Its critic score got an 8.9 out of 10, and that is Bloodborne. Physical sales numbers have Bloodborne at a little over 2 million copies physical, which is not bad. It sold over twice as many physical copies as Demon's Souls. Except when you add in digital sales numbers, plus given it was free for a month as well on PS Plus, I'm sure there's at least, give or take, between all of that digital included, there's probably at least about 5 or 6 million people that have now Bloodborne on their console. It's definitely, in my opinion, a system seller game with the whole H.P. Lovecraft art style going on. Definitely, from the art standpoint, I think it's by far the best looking game in the franchise. Even though it's still definitely a step down from the multi-platform Dark Souls releases. With that said, released in 2018, we would get Dark Souls Remastered. Though technically the second, I'm just going by title though. In 2018, Dark Souls Remastered was released. It would get released on the PS4, the Xbox One, the PC, and the Nintendo Switch. So 4 platforms. Pretty impressive. Across the board, critic scores. The Xbox One version scored a 9.4 out of 10. PS4 version got a 9.5 out of 10. So both pretty much even. Now, surprisingly, the Nintendo Switch release got an 8.8 out of 10. It got the lowest score, though I couldn't find an actual critic score for the PC port, strangely enough. But overall, across the board, physical only, keep in mind, it sold around 1.5 million copies. So, yeah, 1.5 million for Dark Souls Remastered. That's not bad for just being an HD remaster. That's actually pretty impressive overall for the most part, though that is strictly physical sales. When you add in digital, you're probably talking around 2.5 to 3 million copies, I would say, overall. because Dark Souls Remastered has done very well. Pretty much almost anybody I know has a copy of Dark Souls Remastered. Surprisingly, most people I know have it for the Switch, though, interestingly enough. Coming out back in 2015, a little while going backwards, Dark Souls 2 Remastered, which of course was released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Uh, PS4 version would get an 8.2, not the greatest. Uh, the Xbox One version got a 9.4. And total sales, at least physical numbers, it sold a little over 2.4 million copies. If you add in digital, it's probably sold between 3 and 4 million copies. So that's crazy to think Dark Souls 2 Remastered has probably sold as many copies as the original Dark Souls 2, if not more than Dark Souls 2 regular. That's pretty impressive. A remaster doing better. But again, I could say at least I've barely played a little bit of Dark Souls 2 Remastered. And I will say it is definitely the definitive way to play the game. It's definitely way better. You don't have the frame rate issues and stuff that as much so as you would have in the original version of the game. But anyways, that is it for sales history of the Souls series. Leave a comment. Tell me another game franchise you would like to see me do in the future of another sales history. I am announcing about 1 month from now. The next sales history I'm going to be doing is going to be on one of my personal favorite game franchises of all time. And that is the Fable series will be the next game series I'm going to be doing a sales history of. So, with that said, I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe out there everywhere during this craziness. But I'll see y'all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the Dark Souls 3 music in the background.